Domestication and Biden a Thassa out of mono blue can really be swingy. So.
Out of blue, I think outside of the blue deck, there's like Night Veil Spectre is important on both sides in this matchup. The blue deck doesn't care about Master. They even sometimes will board them out, some out in this matchup. It's about the Thassa, it's about the Bident, and it's about the Night Veil Spectre.
We have a white-bordered Swamp from Max Brown, which immediately makes him the inferior deck.
All right, and they're different revised lands, not even the same art. So Max Brown was on the play, no play on turn 1. Gregory started on a Judge's Familiar. Max responds with a Pack Rat. You said that was one of the important things.
That's the primary start that Max needs in this matchup. Turn 2 Pack Rat, and then just start activating.
So instead of playing Magic, Max is going to play Pack Rat this
Exactly.
time. All right.
So the card that people hated in Sealed, it comes back.
Now, Gregory Hatch casts Ratchet Bomb. That looks like that's come out of the sideboard on turn 2. Now, remember, Pack Rat tokens actually have a converted mana cost of 2. So what that means is that if Greg gets the Ratchet Bomb to 2, it will take care of all the Pack Rats.
Yeah, so pretty good sideboard card there for Greg. Allows him to deal with Pack Rat. But again, it also, he has a lot of 2-drops in his deck, so he can't really cast any of those Frostburn.
That is a surprising sideboard to me. I don't normally see it in this matchup. That's just for Pack Rat, right?
Well, I think it's for Pack Rat. I think it's also for a White Weenie. I mean, we saw in the match we just saw on the camera against a deck like White Weenie, a Ratchet Bomb on 1 can be very effective.
I mean, in this matchup,
in this matchup,
it's just for Pack Rat?
It's pretty much just for Pack Rat, That's the most important card in this matchup.
And we see Max in his hand has a Farika's Cure, which he's boarded in. All right, so we have a couple other winners advancing to 9-2 this round if you're following our leaderboard. Both Shaheen Sarani and Taya Steele at 9-2. So with 5 rounds to go, they're looking for 3 more wins to top 8.
So Max Brown plays a Night Veil Spectre. So probably number 1 and number 2 in terms of importance in this matchup are Pack Rat, Night Veil Spectre, and he has both on turns 2 and 3. But Greg has some good answers. He's got turn 2 Ratchet Bomb for the Pack Rat, and now he has turn 3 Night Veil Spectre. So.
Yeah, I was going to say ask you whether or not he was going to go for the 2 or the 3. Obviously, with his own Night Veil Spectre, he's going to go ahead and try to get this bomb off on 2.
Yeah, and let's see. Max has it looks like Max does have a removal spell for the Night Veil Spectre. I'm surprised he played the Judge's Familiar, so he needed to play a land first.
Yep, so he plays Here's Downfall. He did have the option, I believe, his hand is a Gray Merchant, a land.
Oh, you know what? Okay. Yeah, so Max wisely attacks with both creatures because Greg can't block and trade with the Judge's Familiar because of the mutable.
Now, he had a Farika's Cure. Now, he made the Hero's Downfall play lets him hit with the Night Veil Spectre. However, he could have Farika's Cured post-combat to get the Night Veil Spectre as well, and then he gets to save the Downfall. The extra card is worth enough that that's not the line.
Yeah, I think you just want to get Night Veil Spectre hitting and starting getting cards off of it.
And Max hits an island. Remember, he's already played land this turn, so he can't use it yet. That was so that he could play around Judge's Familiar.
So Ratchet Bomb goes up to 2, and it will be able to take out Pack Rat whenever Greg wants to.
Yeah, I wonder if it still will. Now that he's lost his own Night Veil Spectre, we might see Greg put that thing on 3 if he has no other answer for Max's Spectre.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think Pack Rat's just too important to deal with. We'll see what he does, but it depends if he has Domestication or not.
All right, so 4th land from Gregory Hatch, 4th island, and it's going to be Bident of Thassa.
Okay. So good draw from Gregory there. Bident's obviously very good in this matchup. But this makes me further think that he's going to do it for 2.
Well, Bident is so scary from the black deck. Remember, black cannot get the Bident off the table. And the general rule of thumb with Bident is that if it connects once, it's going to start connecting every turn.
Yeah. So let's see. It looks like, Max does have a Phyrexian Cure, so you can deal with the Judge's Familiar if he chooses. Make sure that Greg doesn't draw any more cards next turn.
All right, and what Max does have going for him is he has to, with the Bident, he almost has to transition to being an aggro deck here, right? If Gregory draws too many cards, Max can't really play control.
Yeah, I think Max's best plan right now is to just attack first.
Yeah, he has 2 Gray Merchant of Asphodels in hand. So he actually has Greg at a much lower life total than it looks like.
Yeah, and I actually don't like playing the island off of the yet, just because there's a potential you could hit a Mutavault or a Nykthos, which I think you'd rather have him play, but looks like he's going to make some plays prior to combat.
Yeah, he has a Phyrexian Cure. He's going to cure the Judge's Familiar.
Yeah, and this is one of those situations where, you could just hit a Master of the Ways with your Night Veil Spectre and really put this game away. So
yeah, well, actually, okay, we're going to walk through his line. So this is a 5-point swing now with Night Veil Spectre, Mutavault, and Pack Rat, or at least going to be a 4-point swing. I think the equation changes for Max because he has 2 Gray Merchants. I think he feels that if he can get Greg to 10, well, he has 10 points of burn in his hand. So what he wants to do is secure as much damage possible right now.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's reasonable. I'm not sure you need to make all of these plays prior to combat. Like I don't know if you need to cast Phyrexian Cure prior to combat. There's really not
There's no
much of a
benefit
value
there.
there.
Yeah. No, that's definitely true. So Pharika's Cure, a Vicious Hunger style card. 2 damage, gain 2 life.
And there's an island, so it didn't end up mattering. But so Max is going to be able to pass. Gregory's dropped down to 10, and only one permanent in play, a Biden-Athasa.
Yeah, the second island means that Max will be able to cast most of Gregory's deck. That said, he probably will just continue to cast his own cards. The 2 Grey Merchants in his hand right now on the battlefield represent 5 and 7 damage, which is lethal, the second one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry, Greg took 4 last turn, so he dropped to 11.
So we see in Greg Hatch's hand a Cloudfin Raptor. Looks like he's going to try to make some number of blockers, but unless he has a rapid hybridization or some way to get that Nightveil Spectre off the table, he's gonna get devotioned out of this game, I think.
Well, yeah, he's got Cloudfin Raptor, and then Judge's Familiar can evolve it, and then a Frostbane Word can further evolve it. So it can block and survive a Nightveil Spectre. Unfortunately, Max does have a Hero's Downfall. Not sure if he's going to go for it or just start casting Grey Merchants.
Yeah, well, the 2 Grey Merchants are good enough, I believe. So.
Yeah, it would be 5 and then 6, or 5 and 7.
So a Thoughtseize drawn by Max. He does have enough mana to Thoughtseize and Grey Merchant if he so chooses. The danger about... Yeah, I mean, he doesn't even need to attack, I don't think. So he's probably the thing he needs to play around is Greg drawing lots of extra cards off Bident. He's going to go ahead and Thoughtseize. That'll put Max to 16, and you'll get to see what he's running into.
Yeah, with an empty hand here, you're probably okay to just play Grey Merchant and pass the turn.
Yeah, so he takes the Nightveil Spectre.
It's unlikely Greg boarded in a card like Dissolve.
Yes.
Domestication would hurt because it would be able to allow Greg to take a Nightveil Spectre, and that would drop the devotion back to 2. So
right.
The second Grey Merchant wouldn't be lethal. So that's something he has to consider.
So he has to watch out for domestication. But here comes the first Grey Merchant. That's a drain of 5. It puts Greg down to 6. Greg will have 1 draw before another Grey Merchant hits the table.
He has 1 draw, plus he can just
he can
go
draw
all
1
in on
more
the
card.
attack.
So then he's in a lot of danger of getting hit for 6. He doesn't
Yeah.
actually know that Max has another Grey Merchant.
I think he can probably think about what card can kill me next turn. I think it's safe to think about Grey Merchant here, which means you probably just attack with both your flyers to try to get into a domestication.
I don't think he drew the domestication, so we'll see what he does here. 1 card. And we're going to start moving to his attacks. It looks like he's just sending Frostburn Weird at the moment.
I'm not sure if this attack is ideal here, because you could just block with the Grey Merchant, and then you just pump you can trade, I guess, but.
He can make them trade. It will take, if he has the read on Max for Grey Merchant, that will take Max off lethal Grey Merchant. The problem is it only takes him off lethal Grey Merchant for now.
Yeah, he still has a Mutavault and a Nightveil Spectre in play, so
yeah.
He'll just play another Grey Merchant and then attack with everything next turn after Hero's Downfall.
Right, I mean, or he can wait until he draws another black permanent. I mean, he can put a lot of, this doesn't really take away the pressure that last Grey Merchant has established.
Well, it does put pressure on Max in terms of making the correct play here, because Max, if Max is all in, he might just take it. But I don't think you want to allow Greg a chance to draw domestication.
Yep. So he does trade
domestication,
he does trade the Grey Merchant with the Frostburn Weird, and Gregory's draw was a Mutavault, so that'll be a pass back. Max is 1 damage short right now. He has a Hero's Downfall in hand, however.
Yeah. So he could choose the Hero's Downfall and activate Mutavault and attack with both creatures. But that doesn't seem ideal.
He can Hero's Downfall the Raptor and hit with the Nightveil Spectre if he wants to. That'll either put Greg.
But that won't kill Greg, and Greg will be able to swing back with the Mutavault and a Judge's Familiar.
Right. I mean, the Mutavault will likely trade, but the Familiar will get to draw a card then. So then Greg will get an extra card and another chance to maybe not die.
Yeah, I think Max might want to just cast Grey Merchant here and drop Greg down to, because again he has to be concerned about domestication.
Now remember, the Bident, he's going to have no choice on the attacks here. So and I like how Max played this. This is actually very nice. Max went to attacks. Gregory activated the Bident. Now Max is going to Hero's Downfall, and he actually has a chance to activate Mutavault now here too if he wants. So he's going to.
Yeah,
Swinging
so
both.
this
That
is
was,
the
that was
situation where
nice.
Greg's going to drop down to 2, but he's still going to be able to draw 3 cards next turn if he wants
So
to.
you wouldn't have swung the Mutavault here.
No,
Because that is giving Greg another card, right?
I think if you can have the potential to drop Greg down to 2, you're fine with it. Yeah, because now Gray Merchant's lethal next turn. So
Yeah, so the Grey Merchant just on its own is lethal. Doesn't matter what, even if Greg removes the Night Veil Spectre. Well, Greg will get some cards. Drew 1 for the turn. If he wants to activate Mutavault, he can have 2 more, but he's got a ways to go. His draw for the turn was a Thassa.
Yeah, that won't be enough. He doesn't know about the Gray Merchant, obviously.
Yeah, Thassa's not even active right now. So, and it looks like Max drew another Grey Merchant there. So, Max Brown, 2-1 defeats Gregory Hatch. He will move on to 9-2 with Mono Black Devotion.
And I think the prevailing thought is that Mono Black does have an advantage against Mono Blue simply because